This is the Copyright Assignment Teacher Presentation by Vicki Nixon. Using the Assure model, we will analyze the learners. Mrs. Stewart is teaching a 9th grade reading course. The age range is 14 to 15. Her students come from middle to lower income families. It is a rural setting along the border. About 95% of her class is Hispanic. Almost half are considered at risk. Students are digital natives and have some ideas of plagiarism, but are unfamiliar with copyright. Her students can navigate the internet, copy and paste images, read and write ranging from below to above grade level. The state standards and objectives that are covered in this lesson. TEKS ELA 9.11, listening, speaking, reading, writing, and thinking using multiple texts. The student engages in both short-term and sustained recursive inquiry processes for a variety of purposes. Synthesize information from a variety of sources, display academic citations, including for paraphrased and quoted text, and use source materials ethically to avoid plagiarism, and use an appropriate mode of delivery, whether written, oral, or multimodal, to present results. The ISTE student standard that it's covering is 1.2c. Students demonstrate an understanding of and respect for the rights and obligations of using and sharing intellectual property. Given access to web-based resources for images, 9th graders will create a 4-slide Google Slide presentation that will show 2 public domain images, 2 Creative Commons images, and 1 copyrighted image. Select strategies and resources. Students will continue to use Google Classroom and Google Slides. The use of Screencast-O-Matic will be done for the presentation. A video explaining more in-depth of Creative Commons can be shown to the students. It's hyperlinked here for Creative Commons License Explained. After showing the video, allow for student-teacher discussion on any questions that students may still be pondering about Creative Commons. Teacher-produced assignment showing the guidelines and expectations of the presentation project. Utilize resources. A student handout of the following resources. This handout can also be added to as a material to Google Classroom with hyperlinks. Pixabay, CreativeCommons.org, Smithsonian Open Access, New York Library Public Domain, Google Images, and Flickr. Require learner participation. Students will individually research and create their presentations. Students will use computers or similar devices to do their research and create and record their presentations. Students will record their presentations using Screencast-O-Matic and embed the link on their slide presentation. Evaluate and revise. To evaluate the strategies and resources, Mrs. Stewart will talk informally with her students during the entire process. This will allow for her to check for understanding. Mrs. Stewart will use a rubric to assess each student's final project. The rubric assesses demonstration of content knowledge of copyright and its expectations. As an exit ticket on the final day, Mrs. Stewart will ask students to write ideas for improving the lesson. Students will also complete a teacher-developed evaluation. Mrs. Stewart will share the evaluations with Mrs. Nixon. They will compare student responses with their own perceptions. Where they see discrepancies in the project, Mrs. Stewart and Mrs. Nixon will address the need for revision in the lesson, the resources, and the activity. Thank you.